You've got your script, you've got your role. What are control codes and scripts exactly? Well, control codes are a set of instructions, of identity beliefs, of beliefs about the world that make you politically inept. For example, if you're a dissenter and you have a control code in your mind, then that means that, for example, you go insane on some oneness, messianism, this kind of bullshit. That you may experience some anomalies and you deflate them to your flawed, deluded belief systems. Because anomalies happen, they do. They do. Since many projects happen, right? So, scripts, we all have a myth to live by. The issue is that if this myth is derealized and conflicts with effective action in politics, society, or religion, this script, well, makes you inept like a lot of new agers, new cagers, as one friend of mine used to call them, and that makes you believe that you are effective in the virtuality, which in fact you have absolutely no effectivity in the real world at all. You're an alienated, atomized individual somewhere in the cluster of the internet subcultures. So you have no real influence over power. So without the scripts, without the control codes, what do we have? We have real cognitive insight. We have critical thought. We have true action, social, political, religious action at the very bottom of it all. When you can rally people and make them attack someone, be a dissident, right? When you can organize a true rebellion, not a controlled dissidency groups, when you can manifest your opinions or float beliefs and nobody gives a fuck in the end. You may put some pressure points for the public relations with the government. Pressurize them, they will admit things that will be admitted anyway. So, as one American general once mentioned in front of journalists, you are not about investigative journalism anymore. We procure the questions and the answers that you will ask us, and we will deliver the answers as we please. And you will play the media and the public as we please. This is the institute of narrations, the narrationalism of the noosphere, noopolitik. That's how the game is played. So, if you want to test yourself, how effective are you in changing absolutely anything, a small instance in the world? At first, attempt to attack power, not violent attacks, verbal. When you can rally people and have an influence group. If you have an influence group that is large enough to criticize the bits and pieces of power that are covered, and you are making certain things in segments in this political juggernaut angry or annoyed, see how quickly you will be removed from this position of influence. Because if you're playing by the consensual game, in other words, you are a sellout whore that is fitting straight into the controlled dissidency, institutionally narrated framework of what is allowed and what is not, in the discourse, in the usus of the communal exchange of information. Don't tell this, don't tell that. Remember, be silent about this shit. Now, allied discourse. Allied discourse is something that regular citizenry has no access to. Just imagine someone with elitist knowledge or elitist information started talking to regular citizens about this elitist, highly complex phenomena. Well, he wouldn't find any friends with the government, right? He wouldn't find friends with the intel. So, sometimes in the past there were people releasing governmental secrets and compromising certain things. It led to a lot of mess. Well, since then frameworks were invented to prevent that, to silence certain phenomena that would corrode national security or the integrability of this whole elitist discourse. So, first things first. You won't be a threat if you have control codes and you have a false purpose in delusion about your life. You won't. You won't be a threat if you have scripts that are perfectly concordant with infotainment, with the military industrial complex, with the political scenery, with the festival of democracy. If you have those scripts that are acceptable, comfortable, and most people are very comfy about themselves. They don't give a damn about politics, right? Least to say, even if they do, they are within this echo chamber of what is allowed and what is not allowed. So if you don't go beyond those scripts of interest that are allowed, everything is fine. That's one point. Then sociology of ignorance. What is the elitist discourse? What is not? What do you know that you know? What you know that you don't know? What you don't know, you don't know. And what you don't know, you know. Right? And as soon as a person without status, wealth, networks, anything like that, that is the sole foundation of power. Networks, effective distribution of influence, wealth, and the ability to create an executive power of what you want to do in society and politics. Truly, not some bloody influencers, some people that can hit the button and that happens. Why? Because they have the executive power, whether they're the regular politicians, whether they're ultra-rich bastards that just know how to move around because they know all the who's and the whole network. So, what to say? I'm not dissenter anymore. I'm just a person that was going through veteranship in certain affairs and procuring certain ideas, conveying them forward as a good to know, as an educated citizen. It's good to know, because if you don't know that, you don't know how to start with anything, right? And if you had this good to know-how, at the very basics of it, there is a slight chance that you may have a strong spine, a little bit of ethos, and act your way forward. You may not, you never know, but you may always try. And I've been through terrible efforts, through multiple years, and I won't recount what happened to my life, right? Not as a warning. It was highly illuminating, highly enlightening, realized what exactly happens when you have something to say, you're a dissident, and you write about many things that are not necessarily acceptable by those who want to punish you, censor you, constrict you to nut houses. Use all technological, dark ops, magical smear campaigns to silence you. And I won't enumerate that, because that would be a large compendium. I won't enumerate that because that would sound in modern days paranoid. And as we know, paranoid people have no friends. Not only that, paranoids usually are consulted with psychiatrists. Fifth arm of power, psychiatry. Well, good luck, you're fucked. Thank you.